Hi, my name is Susan Shaner with Sage Leadership Strategies, LLC, and I'm your host this evening of Community Forum. And I have the great pleasure to have with me tonight Gaby Ellert, who is the owner of Bethel Yoga in Bethel. Welcome, Gaby.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
I understand that you've been doing yoga for quite a while, and I'm wondering if you could just give us an overview of your background, how long you've been in the Danbury area and doing yoga and starting your studio.
Sure. Well, as I talk more, people are going to realize I have an accent, and I'm from England, and I've been here for, let me see, in America for 5 years, and in Connecticut, Danbury area for 3 years. And then I've been at the studio for 2 years. It was its birthday this April. So, yeah, hopped across the pond, and and now I'm here.
So the studio's 2 years old.
2 years old, yeah. It's
Wow.
its birthday, like 2 weeks ago was its birthday.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you own the studio and you offer various different types of yoga. Can you just give us an overview of what's offered there?
I have like all different classes, because I've always said that yoga is as unique as the person. So some people want like an athletic, fast flowing yoga. Some people have just had a hard day at work and they just want to like lie on their back with bolsters, restorative yoga, gentle breathing, very gentle stretching. Some people are in between. They want to move, they want the movement, and they also want somewhat a slow pace. So we have different levels, different classes, so it's kind of like, it's not a one size fits all. There are all these different classes. It's like a rainbow. If you're feeling you need red that day, you can go to a red class. If you need a green class, you can go to a green class, you know.
Are they color coded?
No.
Okay.
They could be though.
Stop, go.
They could be. Yeah.
So how did you come to want to teach yoga and learn about yoga?
Oh wow, that's such a deep, a beautiful question. You know, I really feel yoga found me. I think that when you find something that you really love and you're just like inspired, it's like just a God-given, just a passionate, spirit-filled joy, it finds you. And there were just all these things along the way. I would keep noticing books, and then I went to a seminar, and then I did a teacher training. And the first teacher training I did, I was like, I'm not going to be a teacher. Like, I'm just going to do the course to work on myself. And then I did another training, and another training led to another one. And then it just kind of snowballed. And it's like the energy got bigger than me, and I realized that I just had to ride that. And that when I realized the difference it made on my life, and friends around me, and just how I was more confident, more healthy, just feeling more vibrant, that feeling of getting up in the morning and not going, oh no, but oh yes, that's when I realized there's something in this, and everyone can have that experience.
So there's a lot talked about today with yoga and the Western folks trying to get more into the Eastern philosophy. For our viewers who don't really know what yoga is, and it's sort of this out there kind of thing. Can you just give us an overview? How would you describe what is yoga?
Well, the literal word yoga means to yoke, which means to unite in Sanskrit. So it's an all-inclusive word for bringing your whole being into a state of oneness. And in a yoga class, we'll do that primarily in one of three ways. There's the body, which we work through poses, we call asanas. So that's moving the body in different shapes and gently opening the body that way. Not yoga pretzel. You don't have to put your head, you know, behind your ear and your left foot in your mouth, right? Although you can,
right.
But you don't need that to have a heart opening experience. And then we have breath work, which is called pranayama. So we're working with the breath, because we know that when you work with the breath, then you're working with the mind, which is the last part of yoga. And we work on the mind primarily through mantra, and mantra means working with the mind. So that's, we're using sound currents, universal sounds, to help calm the mind and reduce stress and anxiety. So it's these three things: movement, breath, which can also be called spirit,
Okay.
and whatever your belief system is, and then mind, working with the mind and helping to work with these constant thoughts that are just bombarding us every moment, every day. The shopping list, the groceries, the stress, the illness, the anger, the fear, the guilt, and how to be present with those emotions instead of eating them away, talking them away, nudging them under the table until they come up and flare up, you know. So it's
yeah. So some people talk about yoga as sort of being this like cult, and it may conflict with some of their religious beliefs. What would you say about that?
I would say that you always need to listen to your instincts and what feels right to you. If you need to experience something to make your own conclusion. Part of my background is science in psychology, and so I'm still very much a scientist as much as I am a yogi. You know, it's not just all chakras and opening and praying. It's also science, and I'm always looking for scientific studies, just as we were talking before this, to show how valid yoga is, like going through these journals. And so really there's nothing in my experience and at my school, we're not trying to make you believe anything, we're not trying to enforce anything upon you. We're just inviting you to come, experience, release some of your day and breathe. And if I really say to people, if you're ever in an experience where it conflicts with how you feel and your value system, then you have the choice to leave, and that's when you'll know.
Now, you mentioned the chakras.
Yeah.
Can you just give a brief overview on that for those folks who don't know what the chakras are?
Okay. It's it literally means a spinning wheel, and in the East they believe that there are these energy centers that run along the spine and the very base. Then you have one at the sacral area, navel, heart, throat, the third eye, in between the two eyebrows, and the crown. And it's said that they relate to different states and emotions in the body. So the lower chakras are more for grounding and creativity. Self-esteem is the third chakra. The heart, which a lot of people know, and feeling forgiveness for oneself and others, that can be mapped in this area. Throat, speaking your truth. So you know those days where you swallow what you really want to say, or you say too much, right? And it's like like verbal. And then the third eye, seeing the truth of a situation, and really seeing all people involved and yourself, and how you can see a solution to a problem. And then they say the crown is like a lotus, and it connects you to something bigger, and then whatever your belief system would be, you can connect to that. So if Christ consciousness is something that you really have a strong connection to, you can connect to that. If it's Buddha and Buddhism, to that. Hinduism, it can be that. Judaism, it can be that. So it's like an all-inclusive energy.
And I know there's different colors associated with the chakras, right? So it's actually very beautiful. And so the way to get at the chakras or work with the chakras is through the breath, the movement.
Different movements. I mean, in a yoga class, a good yoga class, you're going to kind of open up all of them, because the teacher's going to choose yoga poses, breath work, and then sounds that are going to work on the whole body. So when you leave a yoga class and you just feel like 10 pounds lighter, it's guaranteed that the rainbow of your chakras got opened up. Or you're just able to not even going with the word chakra, which can sometimes really turn people off, but you just feel better. People come, they say to me, Gaby, I don't understand yoga, I don't understand any of this. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm here, but I feel better when I leave.
And so that's the greatest testimonial.
I get the chills. To me, that's what it's all about. It's about coming and just connecting to yourself, and then going home and being more present with your children, being more present with your husband, being more present with yourself, being more present with your breast cancer, being more present with your digestive problems, being more present with people that you work with, that person that really and instead
so yoga can help you with that, all that.
Yeah, it can. It helps with the reaction. So instead of just being stimulus response, someone does something and you just respond straight away. It's not that you become this, everything's love and peace and there's no war. That's not.
Because I think that's a stereotype.
Absolutely.
Somebody's into yoga.
Completely. Yeah, it's like granola and oatmeal and earthy crunchy, the whole thing. There's so much more to yoga than that. And, it's very much just about awareness. Yoga is awareness and consciousness. You become aware of your life. You wake up, your eyes.
So really about mindfulness.
Yeah,
sounds like.
Completely. That's what I would say, in my experience.
Yeah. Now, what would you say to folks who say, you know, I'm not really that flexible, I can't get into those poses, there's no way, I can't even touch my toes?
Yeah.
Do you have anybody that comes in like that?
Oh yeah, and that used to be me. So
seriously?
No, yeah, really. Like, yeah, I was really inflexible. And then a teacher, she said to me, you know, if you're inflexible, you need to do something to become flexible. So by saying that I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, you're just saying I can't do anything about this problem or this restriction in my life. I think people get scared of yoga. They think that they have to put their head behind their, you know, their foot behind their head and have to do 50,000 push-ups. There are many types of yogas, as we said. For some people, they're really athletic. There are yoga classes that you can do that, and they're needed. Sometimes you need to go and have a really good sweat. But if you're a beginner, my chances are some of the people that are watching this have maybe never practiced yoga, have just seen it as a buzzword, or have a friend that maybe took it, and they're trying to drag them along. Go and experience. Go start with a gentle class, a beginner's class. Phone your local studio. Find out, like, what can I do? Can I just show up? Ask these questions at our at our studio. You can just show up. The first class is free. We have all the mats and all the water. You know, most studios have a policy that is to make beginners comfortable, and they should. Because this is open to everyone. And if it becomes, you know, if yoga becomes gymnastics, and it just becomes all about putting your body into these positions, we're missing the true meaning, the essence of yoga, which is the opening of the heart and the opening of your truth. So there's a balance.
Now, I know you've got different kinds of yoga that you offer at your studio, but I also know that you're a teacher and you teach Satnam yoga. So can you explain what that particular kind of yoga is and how it's different from other kinds?
Sure. I always like to talk of the yogas as, I like to look at all the similarities between the yogas, and I think a lot of different yoga schools and people like delineate their yogas, and Satnam, Nam yoga is just an expression of yoga that uses sound. We use a lot of sound, so we use just universal sounds. Like one of the oldest sounds that we know since we're a little kid is Ma, M-A, Ma. So sometimes we use sounds to open the energy in the body. We'll use some poses, we'll do meditation, and I always think of Nam yoga as being a joyful yoga. And Nam means the word, it means the truth. And in many religions they talk about, in the scriptures are the writings of truth. Even at the Gospel of John, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. If you go into the sutras, it's all about praise. If you go into I can't think of the name right now, but there are many other scriptures where they talk about praising and finding the truth, which is expressed through sound. So,
that sounds very beautiful. So, so it's some chanting or music? You actually play music, right?
Play music in the class. We laugh in the class. We lose a lot of inhibitions. We do movements. We let some of the day go and invite space for something new to happen. You know, so many people are walking around with stress, they're walking around with tension, they're walking around with just like loads, heavy loads. And I love seeing people come in at the beginning of the class and they're all like this. And by the time we've done some gentle exercises and we've moved the body a little bit, the shoulders start to come down and they begin to smile, they begin to get a glow in their face, their eyes start to sparkle, and quite literally they're breathing, they're getting oxygen, they're making sound. A lot of people suppress sound. A lot of people suppress sound, and a lot of people don't move. You know, we live in a box, we go to work in a box. We come home, eat from a box, cook our food in a box, sit in front of a box.
A lot of boxes.
Go into a box, go to sleep in a box, wake up in the box, and it's, we need to break out of that. That's not natural living. That's not how we were designed to live. I'm not saying go and live in the Himalayas and renounce your life, or go and live in, Montana on a farm, although that's a beautiful existence. I think real yoga is when you're here with your family and you're here in the middle of your life with everything that's going on, and you show up and you're like, I'm going to be fully present with whatever's expressing itself.
And so the classes are about an hour and 15 minutes?
Hour and 15 minutes, yeah. You generally need 60 minutes minimum for the body to start to kick into relaxation response. So by an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes, the body's actually gone through, physiologically, you have a decrease in the sympathetic nervous system, which is the flight and fight. It's that system. It's still running from in cave times when we're running away from like the tiger, right? And we needed to get the food to go home. And that reduces. So as the sympathetic nervous system comes down, the parasympathetic nervous system comes up. You can think of the sympathetic nervous system as sun, heat, overactivity, which serves its purpose. If you're going to be, someone's going to punch you, you want to run away or have, you know. But the cooling, nurturing, soothing is the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's actually linked up to different brain states. Your muscles relax, you know, it's a whole physiological cascade of hormones that get released that help calm you down. And
so that's actually the science of it?
Yeah.
So it's
Completely.
intentional that it's at least 60 minutes to get through that cycle?
Yeah. 60 minutes, but I also say for some people that, you know, can't get to a class or they're not having a home practice, I really believe just catching those little minutes throughout the day, maybe just taking a minute and just going, and just doing something, and you know, maybe you could try it and just doing 3-point breath, which would be for inhaling for 5 seconds, holding for 5 seconds, and exhaling for 5 seconds for 1 minute, and you'd feel different. I don't know if
do you want to show us?
Yeah, maybe if you guys are at home, then they can.
Like what would be like an easy, quick thing for somebody to do?
I would definitely say 3-part breath is one of the great places to start. Why? It's simple. And it's just so easy. And, you know, if you're at home right now and just sitting, just have your feet on the floor. You don't have to sit Indian style. Just sit on your chair. And
I know they call that easy pose. I never understand that
because it's not easy.
Like, why do they call it easy pose?
This is my favorite position right here.
Okay.
So you can let your palms just gently face up. And you can just close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice. Or if you want to look at me as a reference, that's fine. And just bring your awareness to your body and to your breath. And relax your shoulders and your jaw. And relax your belly. You don't have to hold the belly. And just feel the day, whatever you've been through, whatever you've experienced, whatever you've seen, heard, or felt. Just let some of that dissolve. And let the breath just be present. And I'll count you very simply in just a moment to inhale for 5 seconds, hold the breath for 5 seconds, and then exhale for 5 seconds. If you can, through the nose. Breathing through the nose helps to work on the brain, okay, and calm the mind. So Susan will go ahead, and our eyes are closed. And you can inhale, fill the belly, hold the breath, and exhale through the nose. Pull the navel gently back towards the spine. Inhale, hold, and exhale. And one more. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Good. And just reach your arms overhead and just shake them. Good. And then just bring your hands down. So
that felt good.
You already feel it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That felt good. So you said when you breathe in like that, it just it goes right to the brain?
Yeah, and it sends an automatic wave of relaxation throughout the body. Most people are breathing really shallow and really not even getting down into the abdomen and the diaphragm and the lower area of the lungs. Most people breathe in the upper third. And so just taking the time to breathe and think about the belly expanding, holding the breath, and just being. When you hold the breath, you're just being with what is, and then exhaling, releasing the day. So you inhale, filling up with inspiration, space, light, joy, spirit, whatever word resonates with you. Holding, containing, being with your emotions. When you hold the breath, emotions come up. So you just be with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just to do with what yogis and people have found working on themselves. Enough people have found that when you hold the breath, emotions come up. And if you hold your breath long enough, the ultimate emotion will come up. oh my goodness, what's going to happen if I don't take a breath? You know,
right?
Am I going to die? Yeah,
the fear of that you're going to lose your breath. Yeah,
exactly. And it's all to do with just holding and being with that. You know, you don't have to be. I'm not saying like be like David Blaine and hold it for 8 minutes. You know, we're just talking 5 seconds.
You can hold his breath for 8 minutes.
Yeah, he was in. I think he was in. Last year he was in like a tank. I'm sure a lot of people saw that.
Yeah.
Now,
It's 8 minutes? Is that what it was?
I think it was maybe held it for something. That's all yoga. I mean, he practices yoga. Athletes practice yoga now. People that are at the top of their game are practicing yoga. Corporate companies are getting people to come in and bring yoga, and they call it desk yoga because these people that are working for these like Fortune 500 companies, they haven't even got time to like drink, so they're not even able to have an out. It's a luxury to take a yoga class.
I've worked for them.
So so they're just doing movements. They get the yoga teacher to come and do these simple things, rolling the shoulders, maybe fanning the heart, and just increasing the energy in front of the heart.
So just this can help your heart, just doing this?
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody just sitting there. So even if you didn't want to, if you didn't have time for a class and you just kind of did some breathing and did this,
you know what?
You could be helping yourself?
Even doing this is one of the oldest things, and everyone does it. What do you do when you're stressed? You do this.
Oh my God.
Because you're trying to keep, what you're doing is you're holding neurovascular points in the head, especially if you do like this. There are these points in the forehead, and when you hold them, you're taking the blood flow from the reptilian brain when you get really stressed, and you're bringing it into the higher brain, so you can actually like get some energy back and get some clear sight back. So you can just, simple things, you can just hold your hand on a part of your body. You can get up, my favorite one, and might not be so good, I don't want to shake the mic off, but it's just to just do this. They call this the lymphatic bounce, and you just let your whole body go loose. Like, I love doing this. It's just, kids love this one too. You
just shake.
Yeah, if you're at work and you're really embarrassed, just go to the restroom and do it. I say to my clients that are working in corporate, just go to the restroom and just shake. Yeah. So.
Well, I think just intuitively, people probably know some things to do if they're really stressed out or if they're not breathing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just try and shake it off.
You need to shake it off, drink water, and I think there's a lot that you can do on your own, but there's something about being in a group energy.
Yeah.
It's something about being with other people. I was just reading this morning that there's a theory that stress, which is more prevalent now, we know, than ever before, and this article is actually saying that stress is to do with people are really feeling isolated, even though we've never been more interconnected through the web, but the computers and all these systems are actually isolating people, and people aren't having that community contact anymore, that contact with people, that contact with touch, or that contact with just being in a room with like-minded people.
So they're stuck behind their computer or on their cell phone
and then
somewhere.
as I said, it's that box living, and then they're going home, and then by the time they've given some of their energy and been with their family, then it's the next day already, and it's like this rat race. And to get out of that rat race, sometimes you need to put yourself in an environment where you hold yourself to a higher standard, or where there's a vibration that can lift you up, or you're just around people that are wanting to carve out some space in their week for themselves, so that they can just breathe.
So being an instructor of these groups of people doing yoga, what do you pick up on the group energy? Because it's very different. I mean, I've had yoga tapes and try to do it at home. It's very different when I'm trying to do my yoga at home with a tape or just by myself than when I'm in a class with a group. There is something about that group energy.
It is. It takes over. They call it like a healing energy, and I think it's even written somewhere, if two or more gather in my name, then I am present, in one of the scriptures. And there is something about when hearts get together, when people get together, something magical happens. It's like there's an energy, there's a feeling of support, there's a feeling of I'm not alone. And I think people are hungry for that. I think people are they're wanting now more than ever that feeling of connecting to something, to knowing that there is a reason and a purpose to why they were born. And some of these bigger questions are coming up for people.
You mean just in the times we're living in? Just in the time
that we're living right now. And people are having these questions, and these things come up. And I always say to my students that come, whatever your religious practice, whatever your belief, take your yoga and allow it to take you even deeper into what you believe. If you're going to church, get to your church, go to the community. If you're going to a synagogue, go deep into those teachings. If you are Hindu, then really celebrate the deities and the gods of your belief. You know, if you're Catholic, read, learn about, study about the saints, get inspired by the juice of, you know, whatever your religion is, because one of my teachers would always say, if you can't find God in all teachings, you can't find God at all. And I think that's, you know, that's very true. Yoga's not about, if I do yoga, I can't practice this. Mm-hmm. You know, my students that are Catholic, I've had them come and say, I'm more in love right now with my religion. Those that are, you know, whatever their practice are, mm-hmm. I'm, you know, more connected. Those that are atheists and say, you know, I really don't believe in a God, say, but I feel more connected to something. Yeah. So it's a win-win for everyone. Yeah. You know.
So I know you've developed quite a following, and I know you're a gifted teacher. Mm-hmm. So how do you, because a lot of yogis are considered gurus, mm-hmm. right? So what's the challenge, and how do you kind of keep your ego in check, especially when people keep telling you how great you are? Because you are a gifted teacher.
Thank you. Thank you. I really believe that it's just a gift. The teaching is a gift, but the teachings don't belong to me. I'm just teaching what my teacher gave to me, and my teacher's teacher gave to him, who gave to her, that gave to him. So I'm just sharing these teachings and these gifts, and with the hope that they'll inspire. And I think in Nam Yoga, in Kundalini Yoga, the lineage that I'm from, when we begin every class, we bring our palms together. The main reason being is that you're taking the two hemispheres of your brain, which are corresponded in your hands, and this brings about balance, this neutrality. Doesn't matter where you go in the world, this is recognized. I don't care if you're in Mongolia, or if you're in the Bronx, or if you're in Louisiana, or if you're in Belgium. If you do this, they will know what you mean. And they'll also know what you mean if you do this. This is one of the oldest mudras, which means a hand seal, a hand gesture.
Now, what does mudra mean?
Mudra means hand gesture.
That's what it means? Okay.
Yeah, and the classic one everyone knows is Gyan Mudra. It's actually a science, because the circuits of energy, the terminals that end in the fingertip, so it's kind of like an acupressure, you know, without the needles, acupuncture without the needles when you hold the fingers. But just coming back, you can spin out, it's just so vast. Om Namo Gurudev Namo means I bow to the infinite teacher within me. So the guru is not, we're not chanting in this yoga, in this system, to an external guru. We're not bowing at someone's feet. It's a beautiful lineage, and that is for some people in some parts. So this is, you know, that's their culture.
So the guru means really the within.
And guru literally means to take yourself from darkness to the light, to liberate yourself. So Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the infinite teacher within me.
That sounds like
that's how I keep myself in check, because I'm learning every day.
That's beautiful. That's a great note to end on.
Thank you.
If somebody is interested in finding out more about Bethel Yoga, where should they go? Your website?
I have a website, bethelyoga.com.
Great. Thank you, Gaby.
Thank you.
I'm Susan Shaner. Till next time with Community Forum. Thank you.
And